Hi guys, it's Ginger. It is that time of the month again. Time for my favorite music. The 90s edition. Ooh. This is gonna be more than one part, honey, because if you thought I bought a lot of stuff from the 80s, no. Miss Thing got her first CD player in like 1990 when I was in high school, still in high school, and started buying lots of CDs. So you're not going to see any tapes in this one because this is all CDs. Some of my favorite music from the 1990s. You'll see the very first CD that I ever bought and who it was. And also, I think the reason also why I have a lot of CDs is because I also started college. I graduated from high school in 1992. I started college in the fall of that year. So I was planning to be, I majored in journalism in college, and one of the first things that I did was go get on the campus newspaper, and eventually became entertainment editor of the campus newspaper. The first college that I went to a junior college, and then I went to a four-year college, and then became editor of the newspaper at the two-year college that I went to, and then went on to work. I think I became assistant editor at the four-year college. It's been so long ago, I can't remember. I'm getting old. Anyway, let's dig into this. This is my favorite music from the 1990s. There's gonna be more than one video out of this, so because they're gonna be long, because I got 4 stacks that are just like right here. That's how tall they are. Alright, let's get started with the first one. The first one of the good ones too. This is from 1993, Wynonna Judd's debut solo album called Tell Me Why. This is got classic Wynonna songs on it. This was after her mother was diagnosed with hepatitis, and her mother decided not to tour anymore. And my mom and I actually went and saw them when they played on their farewell tour. They came to the rodeo here in Houston, and we went to see them there. And then this is the album that was her first solo album after the end of the Judds. So, and I got to see her in concert on this one, and I'll have to dig through some of my pictures and see if I can put some of the pictures or one of the pictures that I took of her, because I was doing concert photography back then, and I got a photo pass, and I got a really nice picture of her smiling at me. So, but this has the songs Tell Me Why, Only Love, Is It Over Yet? Such a good album. It's so good. Check it out. Next is, and I have to tell you something right now. When I was putting this pile together, I went over to my parents' house and I was looking through my dad's CDs, and that sneaky thing had some of my CDs, and he was trying to say that they were his, and I was like, excuse me, this is my Tanya Tucker CD. This is from 1992. Tanya Tucker, Can't Run From Yourself. Found a lot of stuff that was mine and his that he thought was his. I left with this big bag of CDs. I was like, excuse me, I know I have a Tanya Tucker CD, and I've been through all my CDs that I can't find it. So this is a really good album by her. I'm not exactly sure what number album this is, because she had been at the time, and you know, she made more albums after this. She'd been making records since she was about 15. So this has, It's a Little Too Late, Two Sparrows in the Wind, which was a really big hit for her. So check this out. Love Tanya Tucker. She's got one of those voices that sounds whiskey soaked and stuff like that. It's really good. Next is, this came out 1992, 1993, so it may have been 1993 when it came out. This is Brooks and Dunn, Hard Working Man. I do believe this was their debut album, if I'm not mistaken. This was their debut album, because this has Hard Working Man, She Used to Be Mine, Rock My World, Little Country Girl, That Ain't No Way to Go, and Boot Scootin' Boogie, which was one of the first big songs that they had. So I do believe this is their debut album from 1993. Brooks and Dunn. I've seen them in concert. They were really good. So check that out. This is 1999. Let's skip to the end of the decade. 1999, 9 Inch Nails, The Fragile. I really like this one too. This is a, let's see if I can open it without flinging it across the room. This is a double CD. So this has The Fragile. Let's see, what are some of my favorite songs? Into the Void. This has, okay, I'm going to say a dirty word now, people, so cover your children's ears. This has Starfuckers Incorporated, which is a really good song. Marilyn Manson was in the video with him. We're in This Together. Complicated. This is, at the time I was really into 9 Inch Nails, so this is 9 Inch Nails, The Fragile. Next is, this is 1991. Let's go back to the beginning. 1991, Spin Doctors, Pocket Full of Kryptonite. I really like this one too. They had lots of fun songs. It has Little Miss Can't Be Wrong, which is a good song. And Two Princes. Those were two of the big songs off this album. It's a really good one. Alright, let's speed back forward again. This is, 1994. 9 Inch Nails, The Downward Spiral. Now, a lot of I didn't get into 9 Inch Nails when they were first becoming big. It was later on in the late 90s, early 2000s when I really got into them. But this is when they came out, was in 1994. The Downward Spiral. Let me pull this out. Let me see if I can get it out. He always has such complicated... Trent Reznor has this complicated packaging. Okay, here's what that looks like. And that's what the inside of it looks like. Let me get the booklet out so I can tell you what songs are on it, because I don't have a memory of everything. I have a pretty good memory, but not a memory of everything. Okay, this has March of the Pigs, which is a song that I really, really like. Closer, which was the big song for him, and which I understand that is a favorite among strippers to dance on the pole by. What else? The Downward Spiral, and Hurt, which is a really, really good song that later on Johnny Cash remade that song Hurt. And both versions are amazing, and both of them had their videos shot by, who was it? Mark Romanek, I think his name was. Probably getting it wrong. Next is this else. Okay, yeah. This was the first album from the Dixie Chicks. And this came out in 1998. And they kind of put a new look on country music when they came out, because they didn't look like your typical country music singers from that time. Anyway, it has Wide Open Spaces, hello, I know that's not the only song. Oh, I Can Love You Better, Wide Open Spaces, You Were Mine. I really enjoyed this one. I wasn't sure at first when they first came out if I was going to like them or not, but it's kind of like it's kind of like fungus. They grow on you after a while. Next is 1992 Sawyer Brown, Cafe on the Corner. I really, really like this. The song Cafe on the Corner is about a major issue that was going on back in the late 80s and the early 90s, which are probably still having issues with it today, was the demise of the family farm. In the 80s, they came, you know, Willie Nelson and all those guys started to do Farm Aid, which helped raise money for family farms to continue, but a lot of family farms were being foreclosed on, and there was a huge uptick of suicides among farmers because these guys were losing these farms who had had them in their families for generations, and they were losing their farms because there wasn't any money in it at the time. And so Cafe on the Corner is kind of about not only the struggle of the farmer, but the struggle of everybody during that period of time, because the end of the 80s and the beginning of the 90s was kind of a rough. So there's Cafe on the Corner. Another song that's really good is called All These Years, which will just tear your heart out. Check this one out. It's really good. I really like Sawyer Brown. They were big in the 80s too. And ironically enough, they were a Star Search winner like several times over. And that's how they actually originally got recognition. And Star Search was like the American Idol of the 80s. Next is Extreme. And this is 1990. Extreme Porno Graffiti. It's a mouthful to say, isn't it now? So there it is, Extreme. I like Decadence Dance. More Than Words was the huge song for them off this album. And Wholehearted was also a big song for them. I really, really like that album. Next is 1992, Four Non-Blondes, Bigger, Better, Faster, More. And the big song from this one was What's Up. This was the band that Linda Perry was in. And Linda Perry is now known for writing and producing albums with Pink and Christina Aguilera and things like that. But once upon a time, she was in a band called Four Non-Blondes, and they had a great big old hit song called What's Up. It's still really good. That's one of those songs when it comes on the radio, you just like turn it up all the way and just sing it at the top of your lungs. I love it. Next is Sheryl Crow, Tuesday Night Music Club. This was her debut album. This was her very first album in 1993. And this has a great bunch of songs on it. It has Leaving Las Vegas, Strong Enough, All I Want to Do, which was her first big song. There's a lot of really good songs on it, so check this one out. This was, what was it again, 1993, Tuesday Night Music Club. Next is Melissa Etheridge, Yes I Am, and this has a bunch of really great songs on it too. This is from 1993. It has I'm the Only One, Come to My Window. Really, really good songs. I love Melissa Etheridge. She's got a great voice. Next is, this is from, this CD has seen better days. My loves, it has seen better days. It's from 1995. And, ooh, I don't know what happened to this thing. Can you tell I used to play it a lot? This is Alanis Morissette, Jagged Little Pill. Look at this. It's all like warped. The case is all warped and cracked and has some kind of melty stuff on it, like something melted on it. Ugh, gross. Anyway, this was her big album that came out in 1995. This has You Ought to Know, which was the song, which ended up being about Dave Coulier, who played on Full House, and everybody was kind of shocked that he elicited so much anger. But this has You Ought to Know, Hand in My Pocket, Head Over Heels, Ironic. That's a lot of really good iconic songs from her. Next is this is a trippy CD cover. This is called Dina Carter. Did I Shave My Legs for This? That's the name of the album. See, take a look at that. It's kind of got a holographic type of thing happening. If you can see that. Anyway, so this is a really good album. See, what they did was they put little Reggies and then have the split thing on the cover. And this is from 1996. Anyway, Dina Carter, Did I Shave My Legs for This? And this has got a lot of really good songs on it too. I Loved Enough to Know, We Danced Anyway, which I really like. Count Me In is a really good song. Strawberry Wine, oh, it's so good. If you don't listen to any other song by Dina Carter, listen to Strawberry Wine, you will identify with it. You will. Especially if you're an adult and long for the days of your youth, honey. You will identify with that song. And then another song on here, which is really, it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of song. It's called Did I Shave My Legs for This? And basically it's about a woman who gets all dolled up. Her man's coming home and she thinks she's going to have a good night. She buys a new dress, she does her hair, she shaves her legs, she thinks she's going to be having a nice night with her husband, and he comes home with a couple of his smelly friends. Did I shave my legs for this? Alright, next is... This is from 1995, Collective Soul. And it has, the big songs on here are The World I Know and December. Both really, really great songs. And actually, I believe December was remade by Dolly Parton on a bluegrass album that she did probably about 10 or more years ago. And I heard it and it actually turned out really well. I do believe it was December. Anyway, this is from 1995, so check that out. Next is, okay, there's a good story about this one too. This is Radney Foster, Del Rio, Texas, 1959. This is a really, really good album. It's got Just Call Me Lonesome, Nobody Wins. It's got some really good music. I really like Radney Foster. And this album actually inspired Darius Rucker's album that I can't remember the name of. I'll have to look it up. His first country album, Darius Rucker's first country album. I mean, the naming of the album is even similar to it, and he said that this album was a big inspiration for him in terms of his country influence. So, next. This is, oh, here we go. I got it backwards. Okay, 1991. This is Brooks and Dunn's debut album, 1991. The other one was their second album. This was their debut album, 1991. Brand New Man. This has Brand New Man, Neon Moon. What was that other one? It had Boot Scootin' Boogie on it too. What the heck? Oh, Hard Working Man. Okay. So this was their second album, Hard Working Man, and they had a Boot Scootin' Boogie Club remix on here. That's what that was. So this was their second album that came out in 1993. This was their first album that came out in 1991. So this has Brand New Man, My Next Broken Heart, Neon Moon, which is a really great song, Boot Scootin' Boogie. That's a really good one.